probably get on top of this, and then that's when we're going to have the arms race between all the majors bot lane. But it looks like at least some of these teams haven't quite picked it up just yet. We'll have to see, though, as this rolls on through in the draft, exactly what their game plan is going to be.
So yeah, once again, taking the Vi off the board. See if the Lee Sin is going to follow. Nope. DCG will actually ban it away. So the kind of a shared comfort pool here in a lot of ways for Pop9 and Josedeodo, which means if you want them off, you got to be willing to take it away from your own jungler as
I mean,
well.
are we just going to continue to have this, like, 5 jungle ban? Then we move on from there?
Yeah, I'll be honest. If I want to see the bot lane mage infestation, I'm going to need all those bans to shift for bot lane. If anything, we're going to see some weird jungler infestation at this point.
I mean, things like the Trundle and stuff, if we do start to dig deep, really do become exceptional. True. So I wonder if that thing becomes a priority, because Nocturne banned away. Like, I think we're just going to continue with this one now.
What jungler do they want?
Because Poppy was the last one as well, which was a respect towards Josedeodo from yesterday. So maybe that's a plan here again. But again, you could opt in towards the Trundle into the Poppy if that then becomes the priority. So we'll have to see what the plan is.
What's the angle? The bait is here on the side of DCG. Okay, Orianna. Of course, Quid, we know him for those, melee, more assassin-focused champions, but the Ori did look pretty good for him in playoffs as well, and certainly the Orianna and Nocturne combo. But Ryze going to be the first pick lock-in. Ryze has just been relevant for so long, and I really thought when they got rid of Phase Rush that it would finally be an era where we wouldn't see Ryze, and I was wrong.
No, he was just like, I'm going to take Ghost instead of TP, and still be fast.
Still be very, very fast. And it turns out the champion who builds, Roa and still does 1 million damage is a good champion.
It's also when they kind of just made Actualizer specifically for him, it feels like he kind of is still pretty strong. So
yeah. Yeah, the Actualizer is a interesting item. It might as well just be Ryze exclusive in the same way that like Hydra used, melee exclusive.
And Imperial Mandate Nami was it for a while.
But,
but on the opposite side, ShiauC getting a pick that he's all too familiar with. The Nautilus and the Senna are going to be locked in for Feng and chasing that bottom side. So a pick that he really likes to play aggressive on and something that he can set up for Pop9 on a lot of these playing on the bottom side. So we'll have to see if DCG can try and get control there. As Team Liquid hovering the Nivea, kind of a shout out, kind of a flex if you really want to pop it into there, because the wall you can use to like interrupt the Nautilus hook. Infestation?
Bot lane mage infestation! 1 point to Raz. Okay, this is the other mage. This, to be fair, I would not consider part of the infestation. This is the other mage besides Mel that has very commonly been played bot lane. But I like this option into center, right? It's kind of a classic choice. It gives you range, gives you wave here, gives you so much damage.
Also very good with the Camille if they wanted to go for it, but maybe not going to be this here for CoreJJ as he's hovering the Rell at the moment. But definitely something that can play hyper aggressive alongside that. And the lockdown with that Camille ultimate provides a lot for the Ziggs. And that's what we got to see like a lot in the LPL and that. But going to go for the Rell, which does offer still a lot. Basically something that can group everyone together for that Mega Inferno ball.
That it does, but now going to need to see a decent amount of physical damage come out on the side of Team Liquid. However, if there's no tank on DCG, it's not as important. DCG opting for blind Gnar, it looks like, with rooms to support it with double ban in the next phase. This is an amazing sign, whoever made the fist cutout sign.
But still, like, I think if you take the Gnar, you still have a loss that you have to try to... I suppose, actually, well, Varus is gone. Vayne would be kind of the other option. Jace is already taken away. Maybe you're worried about the Yorick, but I suppose Morgan actually doesn't really have a huge amount here. And then also the question is, if you do go for kind of that AD top side, what do you try and take as Josedeodo in the jungle? Because you don't really have a lot of those tank junglers that can still do pretty well. And if you opt in towards something like the Trundle, I think you can help somewhat with the Rell for the setup, but I don't think it's as ideal as you would like it to be.
Yeah, Pantheon a jungler, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Can be rough into the Senna sometimes as she goes into Shroud. The range on your stun does make it a little bit difficult to just click her. Syndra also going to be taken away, so don't want to just be outranged in that mid lane matchup. Both sides taking the time in the second ban phase. Looking for physical damage on the side of Team Liquid in some form or another. And again, just keeping track of how DCG protects this Gnar on the top side. Vayne and Yasuo, both pretty strong options. Taking off the board.
Morgan did well in the Yasuo matchup against Doran yesterday, so deciding to take that one away. I still think you can go for things like the Jax though here, so Morgan still has a lot of options in towards the Gnar on that top side. And And then it just, again, it kind of becomes the focus of what does Josedeodo want in that jungle? Because he does like kind of the things like the Xin Zhao, the Lee Sin, these kind of playmaking picks. But if you want someone that wants to synergize with the engage, things like the Jarvan being taken away don't help him.
Ahri now also, again, another champion who post level 6 has a lot of these really proactive playmaking tools, whether it's charm flashing or just using your ult and finding those charms. These are things that DCG have shown to just be incredibly comfortable on making these snap engages, so don't want to give that away.
I was actually going to say if I'm Pop 9, I'd probably take away the Wukong here. I think it synergizes incredibly well with the rest of the comp. And then you kind of remove that other engage option for Josedeodo, but keeping the jungler hidden, it looks like they're just going to opt in towards the Taliyah, which, I mean, we saw yesterday works perfectly fine into the Ryze. You end up matching the Ghost and you're good.
Yeah, we saw basically this exact same competition or composition, but it was TL playing it against T1 yesterday, and they were able to find really huge success snowballing the Taliyah early on. Of course, the enemy team was a little bit different. Is now
it was Aurelia than Riven. Aurelia would be spicy.
Please.
Jax would be.
Yeon, you're playing with our heart. You can hear all the fans here in the arena want something spicy. It's Pantheon. Okay. Makes sense. Solid jungle option. Again, the point and click, pretty comfortable.
Still could be a spicy pick, though.
Also something you really don't want to give to the enemy team, right? You already see Taliyah. You don't want them to have a Pantheon alongside it.
I think it's also like when I see a Ziggs and a Ryze, I'm like, oh, you have really strong options for a 1-3-1. So something that could try and play towards
Twisted Fate
is the Twisted Fate. So Team Liquid basically opting in towards that immediately with this pick.
Bro, quad long-range ultimates is crazy.
Yeah.
You have the Ziggs Mega Inferno Bomb, the Ryze Realm Warp, the Pantheon coming down from the sky that I just forgot. Grand Starfall alongside the Destiny Gate. And Olaf is going to be the answer.
Wait, they shifted?
In the jungle. Now, remember, Olaf did get his Q damage buffed on this patch in terms of damage to monsters, so his clear speed will be relatively faster than it was in previous metas, but we've really mostly seen this on the top side played by people like Doran as this late game kind of inevitable scaling threat.
Yeah, I have seen junglers coming into the tournament practicing Gnar jungle, so that's why I was kind of hovering for a second. Yeah, there's been a couple of boys that I've seen practicing it, but looks like it's not going to be the case. But yeah, that's why I wasn't sure if they're going to swap the Gnar into the jungle and put the Olaf top, but looks like it's not going to be the case. Instead, they are just going to keep the Gnar there. But I mean, the Olaf, for essentially a composition that wants to try and keep you at bay, should have a nice time here.
Should, but my number one concern, Rob, as we get into this game, is not there will not be enough blood. That one, there will for sure be enough action. Yeon has one game in Tier 1 on Ziggs. He played it versus CFO last year at First Stand, another representative of the same region. He lost that game.
Oh.
And so now I believe that there has been the necessary practice to improve that level of performance. And I don't think that Ziggs is the most immensely complicated champion, but I do think it takes a decent amount of mastery. And so I'm a little bit nervous for what this is going to look like when game one, certainly good. Yesterday, not so good. How is he going to fare on something that is most certainly not a comfort pick?
Yeah, I think his role here is actually very similar to what we saw in the last game, which is like stay safe, use your TP to kind of move around the map to where you need to be and just clear waves on mid, and kind of let Team Liquid interact in side lanes. So I think this is where we're going to continue to see like Quid and Morgan be the focus for all of this game. And I wonder if we do get CoreJJ really starting to exit bot lane early and start to roam around to try and facilitate that, because you have so much setup with both Quid and Morgan opting in towards those ghosts to try and play around like a Rune Prison or a gold card in either of these solo lanes.
Yeah. We'll see how quickly Popdown is able to clear the jungle here as we keep an eye on the early jungle pathing. Yeah. Team Liquid have set up in every single one of their lanes for this Pantheon. So really need to make sure that Josedeodo is not able to run away with this early game.
Yeah, and don't forget, Pop9, or the Olaf, did get that buff in the jungle as well towards that monster clear, so... Oh, hang on.
As we're going in, nice trading here. Yeon landing necessary abilities.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to have a lot of kill pressure level 1 here, but the Arcane Comet and that bomb going to be doing a lot of work as well in the early stages here for Yeon. If you can just continue to get that poke, it's kind of when you opt in towards like level 4, level 5, if you've successfully landed some of that early damage like we're seeing at the moment, you can really look for that kill pressure with the satchel.
Oh, lockdown is there. Level 2 going first in the favor of DCG. However, Yeon able to consistently land these bouncing bombs. Heal now coming out. That's the satchel shard. ShiauC knocked back. Core trying to block any potential hook escape, but ShiauC's going to be forced to flash over the wall, but does manage to make it out. So heal traded for the heal and the flash. Very positive exchange.
Pantheon in that bottom side, though. I think he's looking for the play on ShiauC here. Oh, ShiauC not stepping up far enough, so just going to look for the reset. Oh, cancels it though. I don't know if diving the tower is it though.
Josedeodo, not sure how much time is left on the Aftershock. Aftershock has already fallen away. ShiauC's now going to be in trouble. Immediate leap in for Josedeodo. Core flawlessly tanking the tower. A nice first blood dive coming in from Team Liquid.
Yeah, great job by CoreJJ. Has the Shattering Strike to remove the shield from ShiauC and gets away from underneath the tower before any of that real CC can land. Nicely done as Yeon would just get to push in this wave, reset, pick up an early tier if you'd like to, and this is exactly what you want as Team Liquid in this early stage.
That it is. So in the mid lane is able to get a little bit more prio, and the second he knows that Jose isn't in the area, confidence to step up, and Pop9 starting to run away in terms of jungle clear speed, right? Got the full clear. Josedeodo did spend a lot of time in the bottom lane, but the kill really more than makes up for the difference.
I'm keeping my eyes on Pop9 though as he moves down. Going to be looking just for the Scuttle Crab, but wasn't sure if he's just going to reset after or look for a little bit more because he already has his reset come through, so an opportunity to kind of support DCG on this bottom side, but looks like he's just going to back away, is kind of make sure Feng can push in this wave.
Nope. Feng backing away. You saw that briefly on the side. Of course, quotes coming out from TL social media. Feeling good about the smites from Josedeodo in the previous game. Probably feeling pretty good about the first blood as well, but Pop9 is going to get this invade onto Raptors. And Olaf will be a problem at some point. He's going to be a fast boy. Does not have the luxury of having the Ghost, though.
Yeah, he does have a lot of support tools, though. Like when you look towards the Senna,
yeah.
Like the shield, the heals are all absolutely exceptional, and you've got a lot of lockdown that can come through. So especially if Pop9 can pick up some early kills, I think that would be where DCG would be very happy with the way things are going. But for the moment, Team Liquid keeping their control over this top side. I think they would like to look for an invade on towards the Raptors to answer for the steal that Pop9 already has, but they just don't really have the push and control over mid to do so.
No, and good timing. Initial push out as the Raptors respawn in favor of DCG, and as the waves reset, Pop9 already in position to grab that Raptor camp. So again, a game of small advantages thus far. Really the only big thing to happen is that kill in the bottom lane, as well as the steadily growing CS lead in the jungle.
But what we've seen traditionally is that Team Liquid are more than happy to go for these slower paced games, right? They know that given time... Oh, hang on.
Flash in, looking for a little bit more lockup. Feng is able to make his way out. Explosive Minefield does some good return damage, but a lot of sums traded. Getting double sums out of Feng is massive for any potential follow-up dives.
Yeah, this Team Liquid bot lane looking well practiced on this pick. Like, really understanding the value that you can get with this satchel charge. Setting up nerdy for CoreJJ there. And now, do we just get a rinse and repeat? A dive once again?
Definitely there. No one is in the area. Feng's going to be in trouble. Leap out from Josedeodo, continuing to stack the passive here. Mortal Spear ready to go. A little bit more damage. Flash forward, continuing to push in. I don't think he wants to go any further than this, but just zoning them off the tower. And now looking for the catch out. Quid finding the lockup. The trap has been set, and HongSuo falls right into it, but maybe they can get something back. Josedeodo walking away as Pop9 is determined to get a kill back in exchange. 1-for-1 thus far, but ShiauC is running as Quid ghosts into the fight. Feng getting the kill onto Josedeodo.
Pop9 very close to that level 6 if he can get towards the wave though, but Feng's been isolated.
That he has. No sums left. Make this an easy dive to pull off. Core gonna grab the kill. Maybe not ideal, but TL still happy to deny even more resources away. Lock up on the Quid is good, but it just turns it back. ShiauC! He did the math, but he did it wrong!
Yeah, it's kind of twice we've seen ShiauC go for some Nautilus hooks that are a bit questionable as he ends up going down on that one. Had the heal, I believe, as well, which makes it even more unfortunate, but Team Liquid punishing through this bottom side. Josedeodo going a little bit too far here with the flash forward, like, didn't even have like an empowered Q, was maybe hoping he could get a few auto attacks to get there, especially with CoreJJ trying to support him, but it does mean that with Pop9 arriving, and he gets isolated thanks to Weaver's Wall, he ends up falling for HongSuo. And at this stage, I think for DCG, you're kind of almost happy with the way things have gone because you at least get the trade back. But it's then with Pop9 not supporting Feng to go towards the tower and pick up the wave, it goes bad. But Quid
backing up. They did see him burn Flash in the previous fight, so maybe hoping to get a little bit more. Yeon connecting on the bouncing bomb. One more empowered. Auto doesn't quite get it. The Q through for healing. Heads a play by Feng. Yeon racing towards level 6, but it's going to take a little bit too much time. Recall will come through.
Still should be able to get some decent damage on this tower, and Ziggs very good when he gets some alone time with these turrets. ShiauC going to come down and try and clear out the wave a little bit, but this is still an incredible bot side play from Team Liquid, constantly getting this pressure against DCG.
All right, we look back. I cannot see what the number was, but I can see the reaction. There it is. 1 HP. Looks like what Yeon said. A little bit frustrated. Still full control of the bottom side of the map, and meanwhile on the top lane. Morgan keeping the CS close, but definitely not the gold close. Fun fact, I was talking about Yeon only having played 1 Ziggs game. This is Morgan's first ever TF game.
Yeah,
HongSuo, it was his first time on HongSuo yesterday. So this man is just casually first-timing champions.
But what happened? Like,
at MSI.
I looked at Morgan over the course of the split. I was like, he's going to be on tank duty. He's going to play weak side. They're going to play elsewhere on the map.
Well, and we heard rumors from our colleagues in the LCS of Lord Morgan, the man who is allowed to dominate lane. And we said, there's no way we'll see that man. We'll see tank duty Morgan. But the Lord has returned on the top side. Morgan, right now, it's just a small gold lead. Due to the crime of counterfeiting money. But later, I believe it will likely continue to grow as Core finds a quick engage here. That's the ulti coming in, the Destiny. ShiauC now in trouble. But Morgan, of course, still just on the top side of the map, using it to get back to lane.
You're about to lose your bot lane.
ShiauC's only level 4.
Yeah.
They're getting proxied. Pop9 is getting so much, but his gold lead is only 25. It's a 20 jungle CS lead, but it's just so fake because his bot lane is paying entire waves.
And you're also getting nothing on the map elsewhere, right? Flauren just reset, and even though you got the top side objective, you end up going for the reset as well. Like, yeah, it's a disaster class for DCG.
This is a nightmare. Also, 15 souls. Feng well past the threshold, even on the new patch where the drop rate is notably lower, and Yeon just continues to chip away. And while Pop9 has finally arrived, he ain't got no boots. He can't, I don't think he can run Yeon down.
I don't think, you're ever getting close to him either. Like, this is kind of the joys of Ziggs, is that you're 2 screens away and you throw a bouncing bomb and walk off.
This is a
toughie.
Thank you, toughie. I was looking for the right word. We'll go with toughie.
And it's also like, again, because there was so much hype around DCG coming in, and obviously it is tough for this team, right? You're coming in, and especially when you've had CFO that are representing the region in the past, and you're kind of taking their slot in the LCP, and you've just had this incredible performance of going straight from the PCS into the LCP promotion into now going to internationals. You kind of want to show what you're capable of on that main stage, but unfortunately, like, this young team hasn't quite been able to find that same success that they have domestically. And
I think it's one of the hardest things about being a new face when you go to international competition, right? It's oftentimes if you are dominant domestically, you know, whether it's through mechanics or macro play, it's really hard to transition those things to a bigger stage against, you know, a larger pool of opponents, against stronger overall competition. And we can see that has been a struggle for DCG. They play with that same fire, with that same confidence, and half the time it works out just as well as it did domestically, and the other half of the time the enemy team is much more ready to punish than a lot of their domestic competition were.
And I think that's the main point for me, is like, consistently we're finding Team Liquid are kind of edging them out on the play first. It's, hey, we're already playing ganking bot lane because we saw Pop9 go towards top lane. We have vision control that lets us know exactly where Pop9 is. This time around they don't, and they may not spot HongSuo though, so maybe this is their moment. But you can see the second that Pop9's on vision, do they back away?
Flash in, ShiauC goes for the lockup, Pop9 now chasing in. Josedeodo already burned the Aegis Assault, so he can't block any of the follow-up damage. It looks like he is just going to fall down, but the flash is barely taking him out. No! The Senna ult across the top, Feng reading the play, the escape route. Locks him down and gets a kill for himself.
HongSuo hiding in the back line, manages to get there with the Weaver's Wall and turn that play. Even the vision as well. Josedeodo, not realizing that he was stuck on a ward, will be a little bit of a wave lost in mid lane, but a massive swing in control of that bottom lane.
That it was. Just barely able to grab the kill, but even despite the CS deficit means that Feng has that slight gold lead. A few more souls, just now ticking over to 20. Of course, Yeon already has a Luden's done, so still not easy to trade, but the scaling. With enough time and enough souls, anything is possible.
Yeah, still, Team Liquid having that Pantheon ultimate available means that DCG can't actually commit for much after. As Flauren now trying to see if he can keep Morgan off, but here comes Quid.
Quid moving his way into the top lane. Everybody's invited to this particular party. That's going to be 3 semi-globals committed just to make sure that little Yordle goes right back to the base.
Yeah, I mean, That was a little unfortunate for Flauren. Ends up managing to get 2 of them out of the equation, but the late arrival of Morgan sealing the deal.
It did feel like an unnecessary escalation of violence. Like they were talking smack back and forth, and somebody just stabbed him. Like, all right, bro, that was we escalated a little quickly there. But now the tower's also falling on the bottom side, so whatever the proverb is about having cake and eating it too, Team Liquid are most certainly doing that.
I think they found a second cake. They're
an
kind of getting
cake.
everything, yeah.
They just keep finding more cake.
Yeah. Portal could never, they've gone all out here.
Yeah, this cake is absolutely certifiably true. This is some true cake. There are no lies here. So Feng going to do what he can, right? But it's already in a pretty dire situation. We are seeing the Olaf. You can see some of the potential of what it can do when running this composition down, all that CC, all that damage, if it's not enough to burst to his health bar. But I just don't know if DCG are going to have time to get to that point. And without a ghost on the Olaf, Flash makes it easier to steal objectives for sure, but it's just going to be really hard to keep up with a lot of these targets.
Yeah, I think it's, if they are pummeling you as well, like because they've got this lead, it makes it significantly more difficult for the Olaf to survive it, right? Because on the flip side, even though it is a lot of squishies, the squishies deal an awful lot of damage, and if you can't close that gap effectively because your team's behind, it kind of just becomes a bit lackluster. And as well, like Olaf definitely kind of wants, 3 items before he becomes that real, I'm just going to run through everyone and not care. And as you say, like, I just don't feel like DCG are getting there.
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Obviously, always something that they have in their back pocket, but it feels like it's a similar story to the Senna scaling, where you can see the angle, you can understand how it could be powerful, but getting to that point in the game, getting to the position where maybe you can get an Olaf on the flank, is just a really tough thing to do. Yeon playing more to the top side. Nice satchel back, flash away from the flick, though. Well placed by HongSuo to force out that summoner spell. Fortunately, a lot of resources committed. DCG must immediately scuttle back to their respective lanes here because you've already got a wave being crashed on the top side by Quid.
Yeah, and I think this is where DCG are kind of playing for that next dragon fight. You got 245 until that comes up and available, and burning some of these summoner spells can help out, especially because it would be 3rd dragon for DCG if they can get that.
If they can get Cloud Soul, everything I have said, and we have said about Olaf being hard, gets a hell of a lot easier. Time. He gets Ghost for free now, for at least a couple of seconds, if he's able to get that far.
Yeah, and I do think this is where there is a question of, like, I'm going to take Relove DCG out of the equation here, but there is a world where you could play away from Dragon, and you could try and, like, get more gold into your side lanes and, like, let Team Liquid have that, Dragon or whatever. But when it's Relove Deep Cross Gaming,
if you turn off, if you turn off the nameplates and ignore what you know about this team and the way they like to play the game, there might be an alternative path. But they don't go over, they don't go under, and they certainly don't go around, they go through. That is the only option, and it does get them into trouble sometimes, but it might not this time. Flauren, a very nice flank here. The rage bar starting to fade away. He's going to jump in onto Josedeodo. Immediate flash follow. Flick back onto Jose means no smite in the area. Nice pick into instantaneous. Rift Herald is a good look, but again, Morgan already pushing in the bot lane tier 2, so it's not free. It's not the easy pickup, as very likely the Team Liquid going to break at least one more plate.
Yeah, I mean, still a nice pick, right? The fact that you managed to get the W from Feng to connect there and set up for the play is nice. If you can try and turn it into a little bit more, it would be even better, because you can see at least they may get the tower top, but not quite.
So nice flick back. Flash out as well. But you're going to back away and just pick up the wave, the guaranteed gold. It cost him effectively, 200-300 to just go for that play. So opts to back away instead. But getting the flash out of the Taliyah as well as the ghost. Nice to chip away at those cooldowns. Yeah, but Team Liquid really haven't extended their gold lead, right? It feels like they've been around 2K for the last 7-8 minutes.
And I think the fact now you have to fight at this next dragon is kind of the big focal point, because Quid, kind of just the Rod of Ages, not a huge amount there. Yeon still not having that second item. And you have that Rift Herald to try and play with here for Pop 9 too. So I think there is a world where DCG can try and fight this, even though they are a little bit further behind in gold.
I mean, major item completions are the thing that we're generally looking at before these big fights. TL have access to that locket. Is Pop 9 now running in? That's the ultimate pop. Morgan needs to get the hell out of dodge. Pop 9 needs to get into melee range, but unfortunately can't get that auto to extend his ult timing, so Morgan's just able to flash back and get out. DCG lose the Olaf ulti, but again, just chipping away at sums for themselves as well. Every team really focused on that next Drake. 1 second till Cloud spawns. Flauren needs to be careful about walking up. Now 4 members of TL waiting. Flauren, that's going to be the wall up. A nice stun. Wall coming in from behind him. Looking to lock up CoreJJ. Lockdown is there. Quid now free to start opening up. Flauren going in for Core. Finds the wall up onto just about nobody. Knocked back to the double into the Gnar, though. There's also Herald in the midst of the entire fight. Pop9 might have an ulti, but he's still getting a little bit of damage down. It's a messy fight, but it's top lane for support trade. Team Liquid happy with that one, as now the ultis can start raining in. Destiny across the team. Josedeodo moving in as well. Morgan on the back line looking to lock up HongSuo, but he gets flicked back and taken down. The Comet Spear across the top, the only reason he'll fall. Aegis Assault fades away. Josedeodo no longer immune to that damage. Pop9 getting into melee range, hoping to burn him down. Flashback is not enough, but Feng will grab the kill. It is an absolute bloodbath. Neither side able to start the Drake.
It's just Trade City in these fights. 1 for 1, constantly going back and forth. And at the end of it, as you say, Dracos, nobody's able to actually go towards the dragon.
And I gotta find new words. Bloodbath doesn't mean the same thing anymore. It's a fist fight. It is a brawl. TL using their semi-global as well, but kind of the turn and burn here we see from some of these cooldowns is so crucial.
But it's CoreJJ not getting over the wall here that really starts. But then after, as Flauren tries to follow over, this is where it then gets a little topsy-turvy, because Flauren tries to look for the W, doesn't quite get it, actually gets stunned by CoreJJ just before he dies. And that's then where he tries to get the follow-up, but the ultimate from Feng a little bit late, so the Gnar ends up falling. At this stage, I expected both teams to kind of back away and lick their bruises, but instead, we end up with this Pantheon ult that actually splits Team Liquid entirely. Yeon and Quid can't come in because of ShiauC and Feng, and it means that then you immediately turn on to Morgan. Pop9 thinks he can survive through the damage, being Olaf and also having this Senna beside him, but not quite able to get away from the rest of the damage. So it's just this constant back and forth on the trades.
A little bit of a sigh there. There was a TF who did not lock gold card when it moved past and instead locked blue, maybe just hoping for that bit of extra damage. But, nope.
Dragon taken, though.
Core caught a bit out. TL do get the dragon. That is going to be the big one. And credit to TL, really, they did such a good job of respecting Flauren on the Mega Gnar. Everyone backing up, making sure that it kind of looks awkward because the only person he hits is Core, but it's just the only person he can hit, right? The rest of TL giving him that space, respecting that ulti and its potential to just wreak havoc.
But I do think, like, at some stages, you kind of, as DCG, have to take what you've gotten, right? If you just kill CoreJJ and then fall back over towards the dragon, and 4 versus 5, with the composition that Team Liquid have, can be a little tough. But by overcommitting then for the rest of the play, that's where we start to get this trade over and over. CoreJJ spotted.
Pop9 debating if he wants to commit here. Does have an ulti. Destiny coming behind. Is able to make it out, though. Clutch there, HongSuo. Perfect timing.
The knockback on the Weaver's Wall, meaning that Morgan can actually shoot that gold card at him. So manages to escape away, but the Weaver's Wall being down and Morgan's ultimate being down as well means that this kind of side lane threat on both sides a little lessened. But Team Liquid looking for this top lane tower.
Team Liquid got more side lane ults.
Yeah,
they got so many. They never run out. Josedeodo might not even need it though. HongSuo walking a bit too far forward. Immediate gold card follow. Flick not quite where it needs to be. They'll grab 1 kill, but now the follow from Pop9 is there. That gold card's not going to do anything, Morgan. It's not going to stun anybody. Pop9 popping off. Finally out of melee range, they're able to CC him, and that is their time to turn. Core gonna grab the kill. ShiauC now in no man's land as Feng tries to usher him out to safety, tries to escort him away, and TL are gonna respect it.
DCG hoping for the pop 1v9, but not able to make it happen there with no real support. It was just the Olaf being taken out by Team Liquid. Still, though, Team Liquid invests a huge amount onto that top side, and Flauren will be able to answer for the turret take in response.
Little Grubby coming out too. But again, the gold lead. The dragon did go to TL, but the gold lead stays at the same point in his bed for 10 minutes or more. I keep saying random minutes because I can't keep track of time, Rob. I have no idea how long it's been the same, but it's been a while.
When it's this fast-paced, I don't blame you. Time is all over the place when you're having fun like this game. But I think for DCG, like, you are getting moments to, hey, Feng is getting towards 2 items. Pop9 also having 2 items completed. Did have a Hex Drinker for a moment there, but actually sold it, so going immediately towards the GA, it looks like instead. Or maybe that Death Stance could also be an option, but any uptime that he can get in these fights is going to work wonders for him.
That it is. TL doing what they can in the mid lane. Oh, okay. Thank you, production. We're like, wow, this is such a breakneck pace of game. This is a slow DCG game. This is a very
Insane.
slow DC. This is the slowest DCG game. Day one was almost 1.2 combined kills per minute. This is 0.7. So we need to chill, I think is what production is saying. Is that you need to be ready for more.
Yeah, my bad. 18 kills in 22 minutes.
This is
Yeah, pick up the pace,
pick
lads.
up the pace, guys. What is this, NASCAR? We need to be on F1.
Yeah. What, the safety
You
cars out, is
you
it?
can't just go right 30 times and call that fast, you know? You need a little bit more. I don't know why NASCAR is sketching strays. I know nothing about NASCAR, but you know, it's fun to fire strays every once in a
Yeah,
while.
I played Forza recently, and that's about as much knowledge as I have of cars in general. Yeah.
If I just say like Hamilton a couple times and someone will be mad at me. I just know the musical, not the driver, so it's tough. Here we are, however, in a relatively soothed, calm state of the game. I have a distinct feeling that that will not remain this way for long. Or perhaps the second that we said this was a crazy pace of game, we have invoked a caster curse, and we will now play a very diplomatic, side-trading sort of game of League of Legends.
Head nods and backing away. Although, as you say that, I see 4 members of TL running to bottom lane, and Flauren does not realize that that is going to be the case.
Ah, I see. Whatever we say becomes wrong. Yes. I like that. It's going to be a slow game.
Very slow.
Very
Crazy
slow.
slow.
Glacial. No. Of course, Dragon is the next big objective. 35 seconds away. We check in on item completions. 2.5 really across the board. No one sneaking into that third major item completion, but there's a Josedeodo sneaking into that push. But now Pop9 is just starting to tear through, mitigating so much of the damage. So is Josedeodo stopping that additional healing from coming in. Pop9 now running. Destiny proc. Perfect information for Team Liquid to decide how they want to pursue this fight. Healing coming in for Feng as well, but these health bars just getting chipped away. The superior range of Yeon on the Ziggs doing a ton of work.
Yeah, the AoE damage is doing wonders, but great play from Team Liquid. Just hiding off the fog of war, making sure that there was no way for DCG to spot them out. And Pop9 takes so much damage, he's just out of the equation. Has to go for the reset, and it gives TL a second dragon.
Oh, TL got the dragon. Now they want a Taliyah. Core moving in. Should be an easy kill pickup. Quid really starting to hurt. Flauren going for the Goomba bounce. Immediate flashback here. TL going to walk up. Quid going for the slow. ShiauC there to body block. Hook won't connect on the Quid, but you can see Team Liquid getting a little bit eager. They want to push this advantage further.
I think they see the blood in the water. Overextension from DCG in the bottom side, and now Team Liquid looking.
Root going to connect on the Josedeodo. Core going in, but the ulti's not going to connect. Pop9 3 seconds away from getting an ulti. If he's known, he just needs another second, and now he's running through the entire team. The damage from Yeon has to be there. Trying to sprint back, but he's just not tanky enough. Pop9 getting one. Flauren about to go mega. DCG finally going to back away as their bot lane tier 2 falls.
But they lost 2 in that equation. Pop9 and ShiauC falling, so Team Liquid still coming out ahead of the play. And now you can see the pings going on towards Baron. I think they're just going to reset and run over towards that objective.
Gnar. Actualizer also there for Quid. We've seen how incredibly oppressive this item can be. What a third item power spike. Feng, at least 54 souls now, 3, 1, and 5, has recovered exceptionally well from what was a really disastrous early laning phase. But if this Baron falls, it's certainly not the final nail in the coffin, but it's going to start to feel insurmountable. Playing against a Ziggs team with Baron, tall task, and unfortunately DCG just going to be too late to this play. Team Liquid picking this one up for free.
Yeah, it's also the combo of having that Twisted Fate as well. It's kind of like take your pick and finish them off, because Go card with the rapid fire cannon into this Ziggs damage, like how do you really get to play the game?
Well, you try to play it now before they reset up, before they get back to their lanes. Flip back on to Yeon will not connect. Rocket Belt taking him out as Core just barely able to escape. The wall blocking ShiauC's hook, it looks like. So DCG now on the retreat. Team Liquid now active on the map, 5 seconds away from Morgan's ultimate. So you need to be careful not to overcommit here. Losing a fight when the enemy team empowered by Baron very likely just ends the game.
Still, DCG kind of have to back away after missing out on that play. So Team Liquid just going to start taking pop shots. You've got Morgan pushing into that bottom side, and this is where those bouncing bombs you're talking about, Dracos, really start to hurt.
But speaking of pot shots, we're going to be looking at Pop9 off on the side. Ready to ulti in. ShiauC, though, losing more and more life. Pop9 finally shows his presence, but there's really just not an angle of attack as Flauren jumps forward into Morgan. The Coinbase Gold Run coming in on the side. Right is about to have a fight. Morgan about to get dropped. And now the follow-up ulti coming in as well. Yeon's ulti across the top. The grand starfall for Josedeodo. DCG overstepped just that slightest bit for a split second, forgetting how many semi-globals were there on the side of Team Liquid. Ulti now coming in from Pop9. Josedeodo might be a little bit in trouble. Flauren going for the stun. CC immune now. Pop9 grabbing one. Destiny proc, but Morgan just using it for a bit of information, a bit of threat. So they lose Josedeodo, but HongSuo and ShiauC still down. Feng now backing away. Blue card waiting for the red, and he's already out of range. So Feng gonna live a bit longer.
They got what they wanted. Tower, inhibitor, flash from Feng. Even if they don't get the kill, they're still decimating the base of DCG. They're trying to regroup and get this defense. Team Liquid, can they get out?
Morgan off on the side, gets the gold card. Engage coming back in from Core, gonna deny any potential follow-up. ShiauC the next on the hook. Feng untouched on the side, but he does not have the damage to kill all the remaining members of Team Liquid. That's another one to fall. Double AP threats left. Feng really feeling confident. As long as no CC hits him, he should be fine. Extra movement speed, but Core is just marching forward. The crash down is there, trying to dodge the Shattering Strike, and he does so. Sidestep on the bouncing bomb as well, and it's starting to fall apart a bit. That's the shutdown. Feng continues to chase CoreJJ. Cannot face check a brush against Quid, but a nice little hold coming in from DCG.
Great play from Feng in that one, sidestepping so much in that last engagement, buying time for HongSuo, because I think if he went down, that could have been absolutely it. But you can see here, Team Liquid, CoreJJ with a great engage, sets up for the play. They're getting so much damage onto Pop9, and without that ultimate, the CC layering is so good from Team Liquid. But it's here, Feng plays this so well, managing to get the slows, dodging away from the follow-up from CoreJJ, knows that Yeon doesn't really have the mana to try and follow up, even baiting the Shattering Strike there, and buying that time for HongSuo to join in.
Yeah, good look for Feng. You can see he is getting stronger and stronger. But Team Liquid's still laughing, still smiling, unconcerned. A 6K gold lead, I think, makes it pretty easy to understand why, but it is 20 seconds away from the next objective. Now the kill pace a little bit closer to the regional average. We're up to a little bit above 130 at 29 minutes. We'll see if we can get that pace. You know, not DCG's tempo. Let's be clear here.
Yeah, still though, Team Liquid in a position to just immediately move top. They may just forego Dragon, say, cool, you can have the third Dragon, we'll take that third inhibitor turret instead. And DCG now kind of scrambling to get back. But again,
only have to commit Pop9, but if Flauren goes down here, it could be incredibly costly. Morgan ulting in, but not able to get the gold card down in time. Quid will grab a top lane tier 2.
But I think this is a trade win for...
Oh my god! That ulti does disgusting damage! Another grand skyfall coming across as ShiauC caught out. Morgan on the chase looking for the gold card, will connect. There's no immediate follow-up. 3 members left alive on the side of DCG, their top lane. All that remains between Team Liquid and Match Point in this series. Top side of the map has to stand strong.
Flauren's fishing, seeing if he can find something with the Mega Gnar, but I think at this stage, Team Liquid, they know that this could be it as they start to step towards the Nexus turrets.
Morgan locking that gold card, 5 seconds he can threaten. DCG running out of time on the Mega Bar. 15 seconds before you'll be able to stack that Rage again. And Yeon just going to shred through these towers. Lock up onto the mini Gnar. Immediate kill going to come through, but Pop9 trying to turn it back in their favor, and Flauren is still living for an extra second. The Olaf starting to take over. Knock up onto Morgan is there. Ulti across the top coming in from the Senna. Morgan now set to fall. Quid running for his life, but the hook is there. The CC denied the shutdown. DCG aren't done yet.
DCG refused to go down without a fight. It is Yeon alone who looks for ShiauC, gets the kill.
Okay, no. What?
I can't believe they managed to hold on to that one. Relove Deep Cross Gaming digging deep to find that fight that's still in them. And Hakeem, you go for the engage here on towards Flauren, but Pop9 gets so much value from these AoE auto attacks on towards the front line. The damage from the static shift kind of helping out there as well, as Team Liquid just chased out of the base, and even the hook at the end to deny Quid that realm warp. Great from ShiauC.
And TL really had the setup onto the Gnar, onto Flauren, but they just could not finish the kill. Nautilus had 8 HP also in that fight.
Wow.
So whatever Yeon, I didn't see what Yeon went back and purchased, but it is now enough to have finished off that Nautilus. That is just anything would have done the job. Baron about to spawn in 5 seconds, but the base is in shambles from the side of DCG. This is a tough one to contest. Luckily, they have a lot of the waves pushed out, but you can see 4 or 5 super minions pushing in bot wave. if DCG stick around here for too long, they're going to lose everything, but they just want to force a fight. I don't know how Pop9 is already at 50% HP, but DCG say it is time to go. Olaf starting to tear through the entire team. Team looking to go golden. Still CC immune. Quid locked up. Pop9 trying to turn it back in their favor, and he will get one in exchange. Core now making a miracle engage with the follow-up damage. It's just not there. Flauren will finally fall. Morgan, Josedeodo taking over in the fight, weathering the storm as Yeon TPs into the base and looks to close out game 2.
The Dawning Shadow cooldown was just a little late, and it gave Team Liquid all they needed to close out game number 2.
Match point for Team Liquid. DCG held on as best they could, but Team Liquid chasing for the full sweep.
It was hard fought towards the end, but again, it's Team Liquid just that one step ahead of DCG